Well, welcome back. Another episode of Working on my C-Cab project. Before I get started, I wanted to take a minute and thank Alvin and his wife. They come by last month just to talk, see how I was doing, and he brought me these Hot Wheels. I wanted you to see it. A yellow T-bucket like the one I built, and he brought me a C-Cab delivery truck and a old 1930-something hot rod. Really appreciate it. It was nice talking to you, Alvin, and your wife. I appreciate you stopping by. Also, my friend Mike Whitley, I was talking about putting a radiator underneath the back. He had a brand new fan that he didn't use laying around, and he gave it to me. So hopefully that's going to fit the radiator when we get it. Well, today I want to get that battery box mounted, which shouldn't only take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I want to try to get the valves adjusted today. So you can see now I got the motor mouse proof. I put the valve cover, set it over the top, plugged all the holes just to make sure he can't get inside. Well, let's get started. Well, I was just sitting here reading the book about doing the valve lash adjustment. I've never worked on an engine, this type of engine before. This is all new to me. So one of the problems I got with the book is it's telling you to get it on top dead center, which I did, but let me explain. Before, this motor came out of a pickup truck, had a straight drive in it. So there was an inspection window right here where you can see the timing marks on the back of the flywheel. Well, I'm running a Power Glide with a flex plate with this adapter plate, so none of that's there anymore. So what I did when I put the head back on, I marked a mark on the balancer right here for top dead center and had it on top when this number one cylinder was top dead center. So what the book is saying, once you get it to top dead center on a number one cylinder, to go ahead and adjust these valves right here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Then turn the engine over one full revolution, and the number 6 cylinder will be on top dead center again. And then adjust valves 12, 11, 10, 8, 6, 4. Which not too difficult, right? The only problem now I got is you can see here my feeler gauges. I don't know if you can read it or not, but it only goes down to 10 thousandths. They're calling for 6 thousandths on the intake valve, and they're calling for 18 thousandths on the exhaust. Well, I can do the 18, but all I got is a 10. I don't have a 6. So now I'm going to have to go out and get another feeler gauge, and then we'll be able to do it from there. Once I get this, the belt on, the alternator, the water pump, and then see how the belt is, where the belt is routed, I'll weld a bracket onto here with a pointer to come out to the flex plate, and then remark a top dead center with that. Use that for my timing mark. The book also said to put the distributor in, which is, I got it in temporary right now, and to check it to make sure when it's positioned in this position that this is the number one, pointed at the number one cylinder, which is right here when it's on number one. So anyway, I can't do nothing. I'm gonna have to run out and go get another feeler gauge, and we'll continue from there. Well, I just got back this morning from my local Harbor Freight. I went down there and picked up another set of feeler gauges. This set here's got 32 gauges in it or something. It goes from like 1,000, I don't know, up to 40 thousandths. Nice set of gauges. Before we get started, I was sitting here thinking about this. When I put the number one cylinder on top dead center and marked the balancer, I wasn't 100% sure it was on the compression stroke or on the exhaust stroke. So this morning, just to make sure, I went ahead and hooked up a cylinder pressure gauge, and then I spun the motor over by hand. And luckily I did, because I had it on the exhaust stroke, not the compression stroke. So now the marks again on top, but this time we're on I know I'm on the compression stroke. So let me see if I can get the camera set up over here where I can film it, and we'll go through the valves. It's like I said earlier, it's telling you here to do the number 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and number 9. Then spin the motor over 1 revolution, and that'll put number 6 on top dead center compression stroke. And then go ahead and do the 12, 11, 10, 8, 6, 4. And that should be it. So again, let me get the camera set up and we'll get started. Here. Let me I marked the intake, which ones are intake in my book. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just do the intakes first. The first one I gotta do is this. Two. The next one we're going to do number 3. Okay, that should be it. 3 intakes, 3 exhausts. Next thing I want to do, I'm not going to put the valve cover or close the top yet. What I want to do right before I go to start the engine, I'm going to pull the distributor out. And I got a shaft I made that I'll go down in there and engage into the oil pump. And I'm going to take a drill and spin it. And I want to pump up the oil pressure with the drill and make sure everything up here has got oil and we see it running. Now also in here, I'll show you in a minute, on the side cover here for the lifters, there's an oil line that goes from right here back to this fitting here in the corner. That's how the oil gets up to the head, is through this line right here. So I'm gonna put that on next. Oh, here's that line I was just telling you about. You can see right here. This gets threaded in down there, and the line goes up here, and the other side gets threaded in right here. And then once I get this in, I can go ahead and put this side cover back on to cover the lifters, push rods. Let me get some Teflon tape on them fittings, and we'll see if I get it started. Well, now that I got all the valves adjusted, I went ahead and put in this oil line. You can see right here, it goes from here down to here. This oil line is the only line that feeds oil up through the head, comes out up here, and then it feeds it out through the rockers. So that's the only oil line feeding that feeds the head. And as you can see here, there's no drain holes in the top. All the oil runs back down through these push rod holes, and then it'll run into this compartment here, and it's got these drain holes here, 3 of them to drain back. So in order to pump up oil pressure to test it, I need to get this closed. That's the next thing I'm gonna do, is put this lifter access cover, you'd call it. We'll get that put back on quick. Next, what we're gonna do now is get the gasket permatexed onto here so it don't move, and then I can stick it on there. Couldn't get my fingers in there, so I went and got me a pair of pliers. See if I can hold it with that. Turn it with this. Well, I was working on the last screw, and the batteries went dead in the camera, so it stopped filming. But I got it on there. The problem was this screw right here, you can see in the corner. If I hold it like that, you see what I'm saying? It's behind this adapter plate a little bit. So what I did was I come in here with a rotary file, and I cut this out with the rotary file, and I was able to get the screw like kind of go around the corner, and got it in and got it tight. But they're all tightened up now. Hopefully we ain't gonna have no leaks. Couple more things. I'll get the fuel pump, water pump on, the rest of the accessories on. I might try to start it. We'll see. I'm also anxious to get working back on the sheet metal to get some of the body finished. Well, I appreciate everybody for watching. We'll keep it short. And thanks again. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Helps my channel out a lot. And comments, questions, suggestions, always welcome. And hopefully we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again for watching.